KMR Rotary. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to talk a little rotary, talk a little bit of technical information. I've covered two different topics on the channel. One, I've talked about how to remove the exhaust sleeves if you want to interchange them or upgrade or need to change one for some reason. So in the link below, you can probably find the video where I weld a nut to the little roll pin, and then you can pull it out. It's a lot easier than trying to drill them out or remove them in other ways. Myself and other rotary enthusiasts have all come to basically liking this technique. So very easy, and I sell these roll pins on the eBay store. And then we've also talked about the difference in exhaust sleeves. Some of them are more muffler related, horsepower related, performance, and then in some cases EGR and exhaust tone related, so it's working as part of the EGR system and to help muffle exhaust tone. But I figured I'd follow it up. I've got some 20B rotor housings, and in this particular case we're pulling these 20B sleeves out. I already pulled the pins on that one. It just got a little carbon holding it in. There we go. That's what I get for not pulling it out earlier. But basically, we're going to take these sleeves out, which are heavy, restrictive to airflow, and Mazda designed them for both EGR control and exhaust tone control, which when you're building a performance 20B, neither of those things are really of the concerns. We're looking for performance, reliability, and exhaust flow. So that's when you upgrade to one of the more straight through style exhaust sleeves. This particular one is in bad condition, but I had it laying around so I could show you. But basically we're going to what would be an aftermarket version of these, which is titanium. And I'll show those on the channel soon when we get them in stock. Normally we have them in stock. But basically it's a copy of what the turbo sleeves, or similar to what the old 12A sleeves would be, which is a straight through sleeve. Now this is going to increase flow if you've got a restrictive sleeve, but it also is going to change your exhaust tone slightly. And obviously if you were rebuilding a 20B for factory application to go back into a Cosmo, you would want to leave these OEM sleeves. But in our case, like I said, we're going for performance. We're upgrading for exhaust flow. These housings are going to get ported, and it's again a lot easier to port with a sleeve that already has the baffling removed. And in the case of the 20B, it's just limiting. You don't want to have to try to grind that away. So that's just a little tip and trick from the KMR Rotary department. It's what I learned at Mazda Tricks, and whenever we're doing stuff with Mazda Tricks, it's one of the first things we do if we're building a performance motor is we sort out what exhaust sleeve we want to run, whether it's going to be an OEM or we're going to go to an aftermarket. And then obviously before we start porting, we've got that exhaust sleeve in so we can then match the exhaust port to the exhaust sleeve, whichever it may be that we decide to use. But we did a lot of dyno testing at Mazda Tricks. It wasn't me personally, but while I worked at Mazda Tricks, they dyno tested different exhaust sleeve combinations in different ports, and it didn't seem to enhance the motor's performance in any way to reduce exhaust sleeve size or restrict, although you do have the characteristics in exhaust flow where proper velocity is very important. And we did try removing the exhaust sleeves, and really what we found out was the Turbo 2 or 93 to 95 style sleeve gave the best performance. It also gave exhaust temperature barricade to the aluminum. And in most cases, until you got into like naturally aspirated peripheral ports or extremely excessive motor builds, we're talking the upper 5%, upper 2% of motor porting builds, it really didn't make sense to run as big of an opening as would be if you remove the exhaust sleeve. That just ended up killing velocity. So per the dyno work that Mazda Tricks and what I've seen, And what I do on my own race motors, both the naturally aspirated and the boosted, we've always got the best performance and reliability out of the straight through OEM style or aftermarket turbo style sleeves. So I hope that helps. Just a little information on exhaust sleeves, 20B sleeves in particular, because that's the housings we're working on. And like I said, if you're interested to know more about how to remove the little roll pins, video link below. And if you're interested in the discussion about different exhaust sleeves, I'll try to put that link below as well. But this is just talking rotary on the Brap-tastic KMR channel. We're going to be picking up those titanium sleeves from Mazda Tricks, dropping them in here, some fresh roll pins, and then we'll be ready to port. So it's not always just about grinding the hole bigger, but it's about making sure that you have proper placement, proper velocity, proper protection to the rotor housing, and obviously a good time. That's a Brap. I'm going to get back to work.